In the year 2287, a man you've never heard of, in a vault you've never visited, did something the old world swore was impossible. He took a piece of software, and he sent it backwards through time, not as a story, not as a metaphor, as a transmission, and the chain it carried is live right now on your network, in your year, 261 years before it was ever supposed to exist. They called it CapStash. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why it might be the only crypto that was actually built for the world we're heading into. I'm going to show you 3 things in the next 8 minutes. The dead Bitcoin node Elijah found buried in concrete, the fatal flaw that killed every old world chain when the lights went out, and the law he wrote into CapStash that no GPU farm on Earth can override a law specifically written for the guy mining on a phone in the back of a relay shack. Stay until the end, because the last thing he left behind, he didn't leave for the miners. He left it for you. Vault 1337, year 2283. Elijah, a network systems technician, designation only, surname redacted, is sifting through the cracked concrete bones of a vault that was never supposed to be opened again, and buried in the rust, he finds it. A Bitcoin node, not broken, dead, cooling fans choked with 2 centuries of dust, bored traces like graveyard veins. But somewhere inside that machine, a signal was still alive. He bridged it, fed its scavenged power, and watched the dead chain crawl back awake like something too stubborn to stay buried. What came back wasn't hope. It was a warning, because the chain didn't die from a hack. It didn't die from a 51% attack. It didn't die because a government banned it. It died from something far more embarrassing than any of that. It died from an assumption. Bitcoin's architecture was built on a single, quiet bet that civilization would never stop, that data centers would always hum, that millions of miners would always be online, that the grid would always hold. The bet was wrong. And here is exactly how it killed the chain. Bitcoin adjusts its mining difficulty once every 2 weeks. In a healthy network of millions of miners, that's elegant. In a broken world, it's a death sentence. Watch what happens. The network loses 90% of its miners overnight. The difficulty is still set for the old hash rate, so blocks that used to take 10 minutes start taking 100. 2 weeks of normal blocks now takes 140 days. The chain freezes. Settlement becomes impossible. And then when difficulty finally crashes and the miners come back, weeks of supply get dumped in a single afternoon. The chain doesn't recover. It just dies louder. That's not a hypothetical. That's a recovered simulation pulled from the Vault 1337 archive. And it's the exact failure mode Elijah designed CapStash to make impossible. He kept what worked. Proof of work because labor doesn't lie. The UTXO model because every cap in existence is traceable to a real block mined by a real miner. A fixed maximum supply because no council, no caravan, no wandering technician can ever print a single coin from nothing. 90 billion cap, ever, period. Then he stripped out what killed the old chains. The 2-week difficulty window gone, replaced with something called the dark gravity wave. It doesn't adjust every 2 weeks. It adjusts every single block. If the network loses half its miners in an hour, difficulty falls within blocks. 60-second block time. Maintained, no matter what. No freeze, no spike, no collapse. And then he wrote the proof-of-work algorithm itself. Whirlpool XOR folded, 512 bits wide. Wide enough that purpose-built mining hardware loses its advantage. A phone can mine it. A CPU can mine it. A salvaged laptop in the back of a relay shack can mine it. That's not an accident. That is the entire point. But there's one more thing he built, something that doesn't exist in any other chain. He called it the cap cache, or also known as the lottery block. Approximately 72 times a day, roughly every 20 minutes, the network triggers a cap cache event, and when it does, the mining difficulty drops to 1, not lower, not easier, 1. The absolute floor. For that block and that block only, every miner on the network has an equal shot. The phone, the Raspberry Pi, the Steam Deck running a node in someone's basement. All of them equal for one block, then difficulty resets. And the chain keeps moving. That's not charity, that's architecture. It means the little miner never gets priced out completely. It means the network stays decentralized by law, not by hope. The old chain never had a law like that. It had hubris instead. 90 billion caps sounds like a lot, until you do the math. There are 8 billion people on this planet. If every single one of them wanted one full cap, they couldn't have it. There aren't enough. At full distribution, each person on Earth could hold roughly 11 cap. That's it. You are looking at 0.00058% of the total supply. That's what one cap represents. That's what Elijah decided was the right unit of scarcity for a world that had already lost everything once. In 2287, Elijah sealed Vault 1337 for the last time. He didn't leave a manifesto. He didn't leave coordinates. He left a transmission, a compressed chain broadcast aimed at every receiver frequency that still had power in the old world, sent backward to the copper line relay network, calibrated for reception in the early 21st century. He put on a hat he found in a locker, picked up a pack, and walked out into the wasteland. The chain arrived before he did. CapStash is live right now. The blocks are moving. The cap cache fires roughly 72 times a day. The difficulty adjusts every block. And somewhere out there on a phone, on a Pi, on a salvaged machine nobody's given a name to, yet someone is mining it. Elijah would call that a good start. Stack caps. Stay vigilant. Stay safe.